Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate a divine moment of breakthrough. Congratulations, your wealth doors have swung wide open. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught us that wealth is not something we chase outside ourselves, but a state of consciousness we awaken within. Right now, in this very moment, the infinite riches of the subconscious mind are flowing freely into your life. Feel it, believe it, and claim it, because the doors to unlimited abundance have officially opened for you. Wealth is a state of consciousness. This profound truth, revealed through the teachings of Dr. Joseph Murphy, shifts everything about how we approach money, success, and abundance in our lives. It means that riches do not begin in the external world of banks, investments, or opportunities, but deep within the inner workings of your own mind. Your conscious thoughts and beliefs shape what you impress upon your subconscious. And once that impression takes root, the subconscious mind, powerful, creative, and always responsive, begins to multiply and manifest it into tangible reality. When you truly understand and live from this principle, you stop chasing wealth and start becoming a magnet for it, because you are operating from the awareness that wealth already exists as a mental and spiritual condition within you. Consider how the subconscious mind functions like a vast, fertile garden or a universal bank that accepts whatever seeds or deposits you consistently provide. It does not argue, judge, or question your inputs. It simply accepts them as true and works tirelessly to bring them forth in your experiences. If you plant thoughts of limitation, lack, or struggle, the subconscious magnifies those into circumstances that reflect scarcity. But when you deliberately impress the idea of riches, rich ideas, rich feelings, rich expectations, the same mechanism expands them into avalanches of prosperity. This is not wishful thinking or mere positive slogans. It is a fundamental law of the mind. Dr. Murphy emphasized repeatedly that your subconscious is a treasure house of infinity, containing infinite ideas, solutions, and channels for supply that can flow into your life once you align your inner state with wealth. To impress the idea of riches deeply into your subconscious, you must move beyond surface-level wishes and engage in a systematic process of mental and emotional conditioning. Start by quieting the conscious mind through relaxation, perhaps in the quiet moments before sleep or during a few minutes of focused stillness each day. In that receptive state, feed your deeper mind with clear, vivid impressions of abundance. Repeat affirmations not as empty words, but with conviction and feeling. Phrases like, money is forever circulating freely in my life, and there is always a divine surplus, carry power when you internalize their truth. Feel the circulation of wealth as a natural, effortless flow, money coming in, being used wisely, and returning multiplied. This repetition, done with emotional intensity, acts like compound interest in the bank of your subconscious, building a wealth consciousness over time. Visualize yourself living in the reality of riches. See yourself handling large sums with ease and joy, making wise decisions that benefit yourself and others. Picture the freedom, the security, the opportunities that wealth brings, not in a greedy or fearful way, but as a natural expression of your divine right to prosper. Dr. Murphy taught that you possess everything by right of consciousness. Just as the consciousness of health produces health in the body, the consciousness of wealth produces wealth in your affairs. This happens because the subconscious mind responds to the dominant feeling and belief you sustain. When riches become your habitual mental atmosphere, external conditions rearrange themselves to match that inner state. New ideas emerge, unexpected doors open, helpful people appear, and circumstances align in ways that seem almost miraculous. Yet they are simply the outworking of your impressed subconscious patterns. Many people struggle with this because old patterns of thinking interfere. They may say affirmations like, I am wealthy, but if their underlying feeling is one of doubt or current lack, the subconscious registers the stronger emotion of limitation and continues to produce more of the same. That is why beginners are encouraged to use progressive statements that the mind can accept without resistance. I am prospering every day. My wealth is growing and multiplying. I am advancing financially in wisdom and understanding. These build momentum gradually, crowding out negative impressions and replacing them with constructive ones. Over days and weeks, the idea of riches takes deep root until it becomes your automatic way of thinking. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You feel confident in your ability to create value and receive abundance in return. Think about the stories Dr. Murphy shared of ordinary individuals who transformed their financial lives by applying this principle. A person in debt or financial difficulty starts by relaxing the body and mind, then mentally appropriates the feeling of supply. They imagine checks arriving, bills being paid with ease, and a surplus remaining. They lull themselves to sleep with the single word wealth, repeated softly and feelingly like a gentle lullaby. The subconscious, most receptive during the transition to sleep, absorbs this impression and begins its creative work overnight. Soon, creative ideas surface during the day, perhaps a new way to increase income, a solution to a problem, or an inspired action that leads to better opportunities. The individual no longer feels desperate or limited. Instead, they carry an inner knowing that infinite riches are available and flowing toward them. This state of consciousness also involves releasing any mental blocks or negative associations with money. Some view wealth as difficult to attain, or believe it requires endless hard labor and sacrifice. Yet Dr. Murphy pointed out that trying to accumulate riches solely through the sweat of the brow often leads to exhaustion rather than true prosperity. The easier and more effective path is to first establish wealth in the mind. When the subconscious is conditioned to riches, inspired action follows naturally action that feels joyful and aligned rather than forced. You work smarter, not harder, because ideas from the deeper mind guide you toward efficient, high-value outcomes. Money then becomes a tool for good, circulating freely, used constructively, and returning multiplied. Impressing riches into the subconscious requires consistency and faith. It is not a one-time event, but a daily practice of choosing thoughts that support abundance. Busy your mind with concepts of success, harmony, and plenty. Reject thoughts of "I can't afford it," because such statements program the subconscious to make lack a reality. Instead, affirm that you are growing in wealth daily. Feel gratitude for the supply that is already present, even in small forms, because gratitude amplifies the positive impressions. As you do this, your entire mental atmosphere changes. You radiate confidence and expectancy, which in turn attracts people, resources, and situations that match your inner wealth consciousness. The subconscious mind has no limits on what it can produce when properly directed. It draws from infinite intelligence, bringing forth ideas that can manifest as new businesses, inventions, promotions, investments, or unexpected windfalls. One person might receive a lucrative contract after weeks of mental conditioning. Another might discover a talent or opportunity that was always there but unnoticed until the wealth idea cleared the mental fog. This is the gold mine within you that Dr. Murphy described, an inexhaustible storehouse of creativity and supply. When you impress the idea of riches, you are essentially claiming your birthright to live abundantly, without guilt or apology. As this consciousness strengthens, you notice subtle but powerful shifts. Worry about money decreases because you trust the inner mechanism at work. Decisions become clearer because they are guided by a prosperous mindset rather than fear. Relationships with money improve. You release it with joy, knowing it returns in greater measure. You celebrate the success of others, understanding that their prosperity does not diminish yours. Instead, it reinforces the universal flow of abundance available to all who tune into it. This mental alignment creates a self-reinforcing cycle. The more you feel wealthy inside, the more evidence appears outside, which deepens the feeling, leading to even greater manifestations. Dr. Joseph Murphy's core message here is liberating. Wealth is not reserved for a lucky few or dependent on external economic conditions. It is a state you cultivate within, independent of current circumstances. Even if your bank account shows otherwise right now, you can begin immediately to impress new ideas upon the subconscious. The mind does not care about past failures or present limitations. It responds to what you feed it now. Start small if needed. Focus on the feeling of ease around money, the joy of having enough and more, the confidence that supply is always available. Repeat the process regularly, especially before sleep, when the subconscious is highly suggestible. Combine it with vivid mental imagery. See yourself enjoying the fruits of wealth, helping others, living freely. Over time, this practice rewires your entire being. Thoughts of poverty lose their grip. The subconscious, now saturated with riches, works day and night to objectify that inner state. Channels open that you could never have planned consciously. Money flows in avalanches because you have first established the consciousness that allows it. You become someone who naturally attracts prosperity because you embody the idea of it so completely. This is true wealth creation, not through struggle, but through alignment with the creative power within. Continue nurturing this impression daily. Let the idea of riches dominate your mental conversations. Speak to yourself in terms of growth, multiplication, and divine surplus. Feel the reality of it in your body, the lightness, the excitement, the peace that comes with knowing abundance is your natural state. The subconscious mind will respond faithfully, magnifying every positive deposit into tangible results. As you persist, the doors to wealth swing open wider, revealing opportunities and experiences beyond what you once imagined possible. This inner work is the foundation, the key that unlocks everything else. Because once wealth is established as your state of consciousness, the outer world must conform to match it. Keep impressing these rich ideas with faith and feeling, allowing the subconscious to do its perfect work in bringing forth the prosperity that is already yours by right of your awakened awareness. The process unfolds naturally as you remain consistent, turning the abstract concept of wealth into your lived reality, layer by layer, thought by thought, feeling by feeling. The feeling of wealth produces wealth. Keep this in mind at all times. Your subconscious mind is like a bank, a sort of universal financial institution that magnifies whatever you deposit or impress upon it, whether the idea of wealth or of poverty. Choose wealth. This single principle from Dr. Joseph Murphy holds the key to transforming your financial reality, because emotion is the language the subconscious understands best. It does not respond merely to cold intellectual statements or repeated words without life. It reacts powerfully to the genuine feeling you generate and sustain within yourself. When you cultivate the joyful, confident, expectant feeling of already being wealthy, you set in motion the creative forces of your deeper mind that bring corresponding conditions into your outer experience. Imagine for a moment that you are holding a large sum of money in your hands right now. Feel the crisp texture of the notes, the weight of the coins, the satisfaction of financial freedom. Sense the ease with which you pay your bills, the delight in making generous purchases that bring joy to yourself and others, the peace that comes from knowing there is always more than enough. Do not just think about these things. Enter into the actual emotion of them. Let a warm glow of gratitude and excitement fill your chest. This is not fantasy or escapism. It is the deliberate use of your imaginative faculty to impress a new pattern upon the subconscious. Dr. Murphy taught that the feeling of wealth produces wealth because the subconscious accepts your dominant emotional tone as a command and begins to multiply it in every area of your life. The reason this works so reliably is that your subconscious controls the vital processes, the hidden connections, and the invisible channels through which supply flows. It knows no limits. It draws from infinite intelligence and orchestrates people, ideas, opportunities, and circumstances to match the emotional atmosphere you maintain. If you walk around carrying the heavy feeling of lack, worry about bills, or resentment toward money, that low emotional state is deposited like a negative check into the universal bank, and the subconscious magnifies it into more experiences of scarcity. But when you deliberately choose to live in the joyful expectation of abundance, even while current conditions may appear otherwise, you override the old programming. You begin to deposit feelings of plenty, circulation, and surplus, and the subconscious, being creative and impersonal, expands those feelings into tangible manifestations. One of the most practical ways to generate this feeling is through quiet, relaxed repetition combined with vivid mental imagery. Find a comfortable position where your body is at ease, and your mind is calm, perhaps before sleep or during a few undisturbed minutes in the morning. Close your eyes and slowly repeat a statement that your mind can accept without argument, such as, money is forever circulating freely in my life, and there is always a divine surplus. Say it not mechanically, but with deep feeling. Feel the truth of it vibrating through every cell of your being. Picture money flowing to you from multiple directions, unexpected refunds, new clients, wise investments, generous gifts, inspired opportunities. See yourself smiling as you receive it, using it wisely, sharing it joyfully, and watching it return multiplied. Pour life, love, and enthusiasm into the image until the feeling of wealth becomes real and natural to you. Dr. Murphy often shared the story of a school teacher in California who earned a modest salary, yet longed for a luxurious ermine coat priced at $8,000. Initially, her conscious mind rebelled with thoughts of, I could never afford that. It would take years to save. But once she learned to shift her focus to feeling, she began to imagine herself wearing the coat. She felt the soft, luxurious fur against her skin, saw herself walking gracefully in it, and experienced the pride and pleasure it brought. She did this regularly with conviction and emotion until the feeling took root. In time, through a series of unexpected events and opportunities that arose, she was able to acquire not only the coat, but greater financial freedom overall. Her outer circumstances changed because her inner feeling had first changed. This illustrates how the feeling of wealth acts as a magnet, drawing the symbols of riches to you in perfect divine order. Another powerful technique is to marry wealth mentally. In Dr. Murphy's teachings, your mental union is like a marriage. What you become one with in consciousness, you experience in reality. Claim and feel that God, or infinite intelligence, supplies all your needs according to its riches in glory. Feel yourself united with boundless abundance. Repeat with deep emotion, I am divinely expressed and I have a wonderful income. Let the words sink in until they evoke a genuine sense of security and joy. Do not worry about how it will happen. The subconscious handles the how. Your role is to generate and sustain the feeling. Many who applied this found their income increasing steadily, sometimes doubling or tripling within months, through promotions, new ventures, or creative ideas that emerged naturally once the emotional block of lack was removed. Live in the joyous expectancy of the best. Carry the feeling of wealth with you throughout the day like an inner companion. When you see something beautiful or desirable, instead of thinking, I cannot afford it, gently affirm within yourself the feeling of ownership and enjoyment. Feel the satisfaction of having it now in consciousness. This prevents the subconscious from registering limitation and instead reinforces the pattern of plenty. Walk, talk, and act as one who is already prosperous. Your posture straightens, your voice carries confidence, your decisions reflect wisdom rather than fear. People notice this subtle shift and are drawn to cooperate with you. Opportunities appear because your emotional frequency is tuned to abundance, and like attracts like in the mental and material worlds. The subconscious magnifies whatever feeling you impress consistently. If you occasionally slip into doubt or worry, do not condemn yourself. Simply return gently to the feeling of wealth. Replace the negative emotion with its opposite, gratitude for the supply that is already on its way, excitement about the good that is unfolding. Over time, the dominant feeling wins. Dr. Murphy emphasized that beginners sometimes struggle when they force strong affirmations like, I am a millionaire, while their current feeling screams the opposite. The subconscious accepts the stronger of the two impressions. That is why starting with harmonious, believable statements and building the emotional charge gradually leads to better results. As the feeling grows stronger, bolder claims become natural and effective. Consider how this principle operates in everyday life. A person who feels wealthy treats money as a friend that circulates freely. They release it with joy, knowing it returns multiplied. They invest time and energy in value creation because they feel abundant enough to give generously. In contrast, someone gripped by the feeling of scarcity hoards fearfully, blocks creative flow, and experiences more contraction. The feeling you nurture determines the quality of your financial experience. Wealth is not primarily about the amount in your bank account at this moment. It is about the inner conviction and emotional tone you sustain. Once that inner state is established, the outer symbols must follow because the subconscious is forever objectifying your dominant mood. Repeat the word wealth slowly and quietly to yourself for 5 minutes before sleep. Let it echo with feeling until it lulls you into a state of peaceful expectancy. During the night, while your conscious mind rests, the subconscious continues working on the impression, weaving it into solutions, ideas, and attractions that appear in your waking hours. Many have reported waking with inspired business ideas, receiving timely calls, or noticing new pathways to income after establishing this nightly practice. The feeling becomes a seed that grows silently and steadily until it bears rich fruit in your affairs. Feel the circulation of money as natural as the blood flowing through your veins. When money circulates freely in your life, you are economically healthy, just as free-flowing blood indicates physical health. Affirm with emotion, God's wealth flows freely, joyously, and ceaselessly into my experience, and I give thanks for God's riches forever circulating in my life. Let this produce a warm, expansive feeling in your heart. Visualize rivers of abundance flowing toward you and through you, touching every area of your life. The more vividly and emotionally you engage with this image, the faster the subconscious responds by opening new channels. This emotional conditioning also dissolves old mental blocks. Many people unconsciously equate wealth with guilt, unworthiness, or endless struggle because of past conditioning. By persistently generating the positive feeling of wealth, you rewrite those associations. Money becomes a neutral and benevolent force, a tool for expression, service, and enjoyment. You stop resenting the rich or fearing loss, and instead celebrate abundance wherever you see it. Knowing it reinforces your own growing consciousness. Your relationships improve because you approach interactions from a place of inner fullness rather than neediness. Creative ideas flow more easily because fear no longer constricts your mind. Practice this feeling deliberately in small moments. While walking, feel prosperous with every step. While eating, savor your meal as one who can afford the finest. While working, pour excellence into your tasks with the confidence of someone who is richly rewarded. These micro-impressions accumulate and strengthen the overall emotional atmosphere. Soon, the feeling of wealth becomes your default state. You no longer have to force it. It lives within you naturally. At that point, manifestations accelerate because there is no internal contradiction. Your conscious desire and subconscious acceptance are perfectly aligned, and the law of mind operates smoothly. Dr. Murphy reminded us that you possess everything by right of consciousness. The consciousness of health produces health in the body. Likewise, the sustained feeling of wealth produces wealth in your affairs. You do not need to chase opportunities frantically. Instead, you become a living magnet for them by maintaining the inner feeling. Infinite intelligence within your subconscious knows the perfect ways to bring supply to you, ways that are harmonious, beneficial to all, and timed in divine order. Trust that process. Feel the joy of it now, and watch as the outer world rearranges itself to reflect your inner riches. Continue to nourish this feeling daily with quiet reflection, vivid imagination, and heartfelt affirmations. Let every positive emotion around money, gratitude, excitement, freedom, generosity build upon the last until the feeling of wealth saturates your entire being. The subconscious mind, being infinitely responsive and creative, will multiply your emotional deposits into experiences of increasing prosperity, unexpected windfalls, steady income growth, and a life where abundance feels completely natural. As you persist in living from this elevated emotional state, the doors of wealth open wider and supply flows to you in ever greater measure because the feeling of wealth is now firmly producing wealth in every aspect of your reality. Your words and thoughts open the doors. Every word you speak and every thought you entertain carries creative power that directly influences the opening or closing of the doors to wealth in your life. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught that your subconscious mind listens intently to your internal dialogue and your spoken words, accepting them as literal instructions and proceeding to manifest them with mathematical precision. When you speak words of lack, limitation, or doubt, you are unknowingly slamming those wealth doors shut. Conversely, when you consciously choose faith-filled, positive, and prosperous words charged with conviction and feeling, you swing those doors wide open, allowing infinite supply to flow freely into your experience. This is not mere superstition or empty rhetoric. It is the practical application of the law of mind, where thought and word become the master key to unlocking unlimited abundance. Begin by becoming acutely aware of your habitual language around money. Many people casually say things like, "I can't afford it," "money is tight," "I'm always broke," or "bills are killing me." Each of these statements is a powerful command sent straight to the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not filter or argue. It simply accepts the statement as true and works to make the outer world conform to it. It begins to attract situations that confirm the limitation, unexpected expenses, missed opportunities, or stagnant income. Dr. Murphy emphasized that your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and they will grow into the exact harvest you describe. To open the wealth doors, you must deliberately replace limiting language with constructive, expansive statements that affirm abundance, circulation, and divine supply. Speak with authority and conviction. Instead of saying, "I wish I had more money," declare boldly, "I am receiving more money every day in expected and unexpected ways." Feel the truth of these words as you utter them. Let your voice carry enthusiasm and certainty. The combination of word plus feeling creates a powerful impression on the subconscious. Repeat prosperity affirmations daily with deep emotion. Infinite riches are flowing to me now. I am a magnet for divine prosperity. My wealth is increasing and multiplying rapidly. God's supply is meeting all my needs abundantly. Those supply is meeting all my needs abundantly. These are not empty phrases. When spoken repeatedly with belief, they reprogram the subconscious, dissolving old patterns of scarcity and installing new patterns of plenty. The doors begin to creak open as fresh opportunities, ideas, and financial channels emerge in response to your new verbal commands. Your thoughts are equally potent because they precede and shape your words. The mind is constantly broadcasting a mental conversation. If that conversation is filled with worry about debts, fear of the future, or envy of others' success, those thoughts act like invisible barriers, keeping the wealth doors firmly closed. Dr. Murphy advised monitoring your mental chatter and consciously redirecting it toward richness and success. Whenever a limiting thought arises, immediately counter it with a strong affirmative thought. Replace "I never have enough" with "there is always more than enough for me." Replace "money is hard to get" with "money flows to me easily and joyfully." This mental discipline trains the subconscious to respond only to prosperous ideas, gradually swinging the doors wider and wider. One highly effective practice is to use the power of the spoken word during relaxed states, especially just before sleep. Lie quietly in bed and affirm prosperity statements slowly and feelingly. Let each word sink deeply into your subconscious as you drift towards sleep. The subconscious is most receptive during this transition period, and your last waking impressions often dominate the night's creative activity. Many individuals who followed Dr. Murphy's guidance reported dramatic financial improvements after establishing this nightly routine. One businessman facing bankruptcy began affirming nightly, "My business is prospering in every way, and new opportunities are opening for me now." Within weeks, new clients appeared, creative solutions surfaced, and the business turned around completely. His words and thoughts had opened the doors that circumstances had previously seemed to seal shut. Words also carry vibration and energy. Positive, uplifting words vibrate at a higher frequency that aligns you with the infinite intelligence and abundance of the universe. Negative words lower your vibration and create resistance. When you speak words of gratitude and expectation, I am so grateful for the increasing flow of wealth in my life, you raise your entire mental atmosphere. This elevated state attracts helpful people, favorable conditions, and inspired ideas. Dr. Murphy often pointed out that the spoken word is a mighty tool because it externalizes your inner thought and gives it additional power through sound and breath. Speak your desires as already fulfilled. Say, Hugh, for the wealth that is already on its way, even before visible evidence appears. This practice of thankful anticipation accelerates the opening of the doors because gratitude is one of the strongest magnets for prosperity. Be specific yet open in your language. Instead of big statements like, I want more money, use precise yet flexible affirmations. Large sums of money come to me quickly and easily from multiple sources. This allows the subconscious to work creatively without being limited by narrow expectations. The doors open in surprising ways, perhaps through a new job, a business idea, an inheritance, a wise investment, or an unexpected gift. The subconscious knows the perfect channels. Your role is to provide clear, positive instructions through consistent words and thoughts. Avoid canceling your good with contradictory statements. If you affirm prosperity in the morning but complain about expenses in the afternoon, you create mixed signals that slow the process. Maintain consistency in both thought and speech for maximum effectiveness. Dr. Murphy shared numerous accounts of people who transformed their financial lives simply by changing their vocabulary. A woman struggling with debt began replacing every negative money comment with positive ones. When friends asked how she was doing financially, she would reply cheerfully, I am prospering more every day. She refused to discuss her problems and instead talked only about her growing faith in infinite supply. Over several months, her income increased substantially through promotions and side opportunities, and her debts were cleared with ease. Her words had literally opened the doors by reprogramming her subconscious to expect and accept abundance. Another example involved a young man who constantly said, I am broke. After learning the power of words, he switched to, I am wealthy in consciousness and riches are flowing to me now. New employment offers came and his financial situation improved dramatically within a short time. Your thoughts and words also influence how you perceive opportunities. When your inner dialogue is prosperous, you notice chances that others miss. A limiting mindset filters out possibilities, while an abundant one highlights them. Speak words that expand your awareness. I am open and receptive to new avenues of income. Divine ideas flow to me continuously. I recognize and act on profitable opportunities instantly. These statements prime the subconscious to alert you to wealth-building prospects. You begin to see potential in everyday situations, conversations, problems, trends that can be turned into profitable ventures. The doors open because your mind is now attuned to abundance rather than scarcity. Combine words with visualization for even greater impact. As you speak your affirmations, mentally picture the desired outcomes with vivid detail and emotion. See money flowing into your accounts, feel the joy of financial freedom, hear yourself celebrating success. The spoken word gives the impression additional force, while the mental image provides the blueprint. Dr. Murphy taught that this combination thought, word, and feeling constitutes the complete creative process. The subconscious receives the full package and begins orchestrating events to match your command. Doors that once seemed locked swing open effortlessly as people, resources, and circumstances align in response to your aligned thoughts and words. Practice speaking prosperity into existence throughout the day. While driving, affirm silently or aloud, wealth is circulating freely in my life. While working, declare, my efforts are richly rewarded. While paying bills, say with conviction, I release this money with joy, knowing it returns to me multiplied. These small, consistent verbal acts accumulate into a powerful momentum that keeps the wealth doors opening wider. Over time, your entire being vibrates with prosperous energy. Negative thoughts lose their grip because they are crowded out by the constant stream of positive, faith-filled language. You become a conscious creator, using your words and thoughts as precise tools to shape your financial destiny. The subconscious mind has no sense of time or limitation when given clear instructions. It works tirelessly to bring your dominant words and thoughts into physical form, whether they are constructive or destructive. By choosing to speak only what you wish to experience, you harness this power deliberately. Declare daily, every day, in every way, I am becoming more prosperous. Let these words resonate deeply until they feel true. The more you repeat them with belief, the faster the subconscious accepts them as reality. New income streams appear, old limitations dissolve, and unexpected blessings arrive because your words have unlocked the infinite storehouse within. Monitor conversations with others carefully. Avoid joining in complaints about the economy, rising prices, or financial hardship. Instead, steer discussions toward possibilities, solutions, and gratitude. Your words influence not only your own subconscious, but also the collective atmosphere around you. When you speak from abundance, you uplift those around you and attract like-minded individuals who can support your growth. Dr. Murphy noted that prosperous people tend to associate with others who share a similar consciousness of wealth. Your language becomes a filter that draws supportive relationships and repels those anchored in lack. Persistence is essential in this practice. At first, old habits may cause slips into negative speech. When that happens, immediately correct yourself with a positive statement. Do not dwell on the mistake. Simply realign your words and thoughts. Each correction strengthens the new pattern. Within weeks of consistent practice, speaking prosperity becomes natural and automatic. The wealth doors, once difficult to budge, now open smoothly and frequently. You experience a steady increase in supply because your subconscious is faithfully responding to the clear, positive commands you issue through your words and thoughts. Continue using this principle daily, speaking only that which you desire to manifest. Let every thought and every spoken word serve as a key that turns in the lock of abundance. As you maintain this discipline, the infinite riches of the subconscious mind flow toward you in ever greater measure, confirming that your words and thoughts truly do open the doors to unlimited wealth and prosperity in your life.